It's time for breakfast on the Blackstone. Let me show you how I like to start my Sunday fun day with some thick cut ribeyes, dippy drippy eggs, and breakfast potatoes. You guys are gonna love this one, so let's get cooking. Breakfast on the weekend is my favorite because we have that extra time to really make something delicious. I love steak and eggs. I've got a thick cut ribeye steak. I've already patted the moisture off of this with some paper towels. To this, we're gonna season it heavily with some sea salt and black pepper, making sure to get the edges seasoned up as well. We'll slide this aside. We want it to rest at room temperature for 1 hour. This is going to give us a beautifully cooked steak and ensure even cooking. In the meantime, I've got some baby potatoes to prepare. I've already cut up one small sweet onion. My potatoes we're gonna quarter up, get them into a mixing bowl, and season with paprika, some garlic salt, and onion powder. We'll go over this with some oil. Any neutral oil is good. Today, I'm using sunflower, which is one of my favorite oils to cook with. It's perfect for high heat cooking. We'll mix this up and set that aside. These can hang out as well while we wait for our steak. Once we're ready, we're gonna get our Blackstone turned on. Our left 2 burners will go on medium to medium low heat. This is where we'll cook our potatoes, and the 2 right side burners will go on high for a nice sear on our steak. Before I start cooking, I always use some warm water over the top to ensure a nice clean surface before I start cooking. I also hit it with some oil. I'm going to use my sunflower oil. Doing a thin layer before cooking is going to ensure that the seasoning on my Blackstone stays even each and every time I cook. We'll get these potatoes down to start them first. Since these already have oil on them, I'm not going to add any just yet. If you need to, feel free. We'll toss these and then cover them with our dome to help these cook through, checking them every few minutes, giving them a toss, making sure that every side of our potatoes and our onions get a nice toasty char. Our potatoes are looking great, so let's get our Blackstone ready for our steak. We'll add a little bit of oil along with some unsalted butter, mix the 2 together, and then get that steak down to sear, leaving it untouched for between 3 to 5 minutes, depending on how thick your steak is. Once we've got a gorgeous crust on this steak, we'll give it a flip, adding some butter to melt down for the opposite side, allowing it to sit untouched again for another 3 to 5 minutes. At this point, our potatoes are done. We'll pull these off, plate them up, and jump back to our steak. Now, this not only is one of my favorite smells in the world, I love the smell of steak cooking, but look how gorgeous that crust is on that steak. I want to make sure that the edges get cooked just the same, so using tongs, I just rotate it onto each side for about 30 to 45 seconds just to build that crust along the edges. Now that this is done, I've got some unsalted butter on a plate waiting for my steak. We're gonna let this rest for about 5 to 10 minutes. This way, the juices redistribute throughout that steak, making it so juicy. And I'm gonna get a plate full of me and my kids' favorite thing that we fight over, the steak juices for dipping. I love it. The last thing we need to do is get our eggs cooking. So I cut the heat off of all 4 burners. On the left side, where we had our burners on medium, we'll drop down some butter and our eggs. The eggs are gonna cook in that residual heat without cooking our eggs too fast. Over the top with some salt and pepper, and I like to add a little bit of Italian seasoning on my eggs when I have it with steak. I know we all I don't know how you like your eggs cooked, but I know I like them over easy, and I know a lot of people have a hard time flipping them. Using a dome with a little bit of water to steam over the top of your eggs is a nice trick if you like that runny yolk, but you like the whites cooked over top without having to flip your eggs. Once these are done, we'll plate everything up. The juices on this plate, I could just drink it. We'll slice up our steak. We've got a beautiful medium to medium well, just like I was going for. Typically, I prefer a medium to medium rare steak, but not when it comes to breakfast. I've got my coffee in hand, and now I'm ready to dive into this steak. I am going to take that nice cap at the top and a couple of these eggs, some of our breakfast potatoes, and we can't forget to add a little bit of all of that steak juice. This is one of my perfect breakfast, a fun way to start a Sunday fun day, and I hope it inspires you to go make some steak and eggs. Until next time, guys, I'm Blackstone Betty, and I will see you guys in my next family style video.